Hello, my lovely listeners. I'm Dr. Mary Barson.
And I'm Dr. Lucy Burns. Welcome to this episode of Real Health and Weight Loss. Gorgeous listeners, it's Dr. Lucy here today, and I'm without Dr. Mary. You know that Dr. Mary had a little run of doing solo podcasting while I was traveling around in the van with my man. But I'm back, and I have such a great guest for you today. I think you're going to find his story inspirational and motivational, because I cannot tell you just the trajectory his life is now heading on, having changed basically what he was doing, what he was eating, what he was thinking, what he was feeling. And I'm super thrilled to welcome to the podcast, Paul Terlato. Paul, welcome.
Thank you, Lucy. Thanks for having me. Hello, everyone. This is a new thing for me, which is great. So, as I've said in the past, if my story can inspire a few people to jump into the deep end and start looking out for their health, then I'd love to chat to absolutely anyone about it, really.
Great. So I think there's two things that I love there. One, that you said this is the first time. So yes, you're learning, and we always doing new experience is a little bit scary. And the second thing is that you're happy to chat to people about your health. So I love that too.
Yes.
So I guess if we just start the ball rolling with your story, if you could just share with our listeners what's happened for you.
Yeah. So about it, it's a really interesting one because my journey started at 160 kilos. So I was between 160 and 164-ish kilos if we're watching the weight. But if I'm being completely honest, I was happy. I was in a good place, life was good, work was good, everything was fantastic, and I was over the moon. But there was this little thing, like I would always go through my days and I'd crash at night. I was always tired. I was always, doughy is what I call it. So like I was just, I didn't feel like 100%, but I was still a happy guy the whole time.
Yeah.
I guess I just wanted the change. I don't really have a pinpointed, reason why I wanted the change, but I just wanted to stop feeling crappy. And, I was resulting to 10 coffees a day, like espressos a day, trying to just boost my energy all the time. Brain fog was right up there, and I didn't know why. I was seeing my local GP, and I'm just like, throw the book at me. What have I got? Have I got something happening? Have I got diabetes? Have I got cancer? Have I got this? And throw the book at me. Give me an excuse to really want to do it. And he goes, Paul, you're a healthy guy. You're overweight. That's going to contribute to your inflammation and all this kind of stuff. But you're a healthy guy. Like, I don't really know what else to say to you. And I was kind of just sitting there like, well, I feel like crap. So maybe it's time for a change. So that's where I was.
It's so interesting, isn't it? It's so interesting because you're absolutely right. So you used the word doughy. I often use the word sluggish. Like you just feel a bit like a slug. It's like, you just don't have pep in your step.
Yeah.
Interesting. Do you know if your doctor had ordered an insulin level on you at all?
I don't think we ever did do an insulin level test. We did a lot of blood tests just trying to look for some other things. I've got high blood pressure as well, so hypertension, and I had two back issues. So I have 3 prolapse discs, and I had sacroiliac joint inflammation. So I guess they were really affecting mental as well. So it would hold me back from wanting to lose weight. It would really hold me back from exercise. There was a lot of fear there regarding the exercise to lose weight, high intensity exercise and all that kind of stuff. So, the fear is always at the back of my head.
Which I think is understandable because, at the end of the day, we've all been told that, to lose weight, it's diet and exercise. So eat less, move more. Most of us think that you have to do truckloads of cardio, run galore, because you're going to burn off calories. So it's understandable, therefore, that your brain was going, well, in order to lose weight, I'm going to have to start running or doing something really hard, and that's not going to work because my back's sore and I won't be able to do it. So I'll just not do it.
So that led me to, really questioning everything and how can I feel better? It wasn't really about losing weight at the start. It was like, how can I feel better and lose weight on that journey? And, podcast after podcast, video. I mean, so I've been a big boy from as long as I can remember. So we're looking at back to, a child, I was always overweight. I did, I think at my early 1920, so 19 to 20s, I did light and easy. Light and easy works fantastic for me. I didn't feel good. Like I still felt pretty average, and at that time, I lost about 15 kilos it would have been over about 3 or 4 months. And then, probably a bit longer actually, probably in a 6-month period I did it for. And I didn't feel good. I lost weight and everyone kept commenting on how good I look, but I didn't feel good. I felt quite average. And then holiday came around and it was like, yep, we went on a boys trip, drinking, food, like it was, and then come back home, don't worry about it, I'm not doing that crap again. I'm just going to eat and do what I want. But I was doing a lot more exercise back then. So that was before my injury. So I guess I kind of balanced it out with that, but I wasn't really losing weight and I was doing, kickboxing 3-4 times a week. So I was kind of just like a roller coaster. I went and saw a dietitian probably about 5-6 years ago. She put me straight onto OptiFast. I lost probably 5-6 kilos, still felt pretty crap. But then as soon as I stopped OptiFast, I put on 10 kilos. So, and I was eating like a champion. So I thought, I definitely shrunk down my meal sizes, but yeah, I still had a lot of, breads and pastas, Italian background. So pasta and bread is life. After that, I teamed up with a nutritional therapist, and that was the most success I had doing weight loss. I did about 20 odd kilos and felt okay. I wouldn't say I felt great. I felt okay. I was still having a lot of so milk was allowed. Almond milk was definitely promoted. It was very keto style diet is how they promoted it. And it was great. Like I lost 20 kilos and, it was building up to my wedding. So I'm like, I need to do this. And went on my honeymoon in America and indulged in nice, big pizzas and burgers and, the American trip that we all watch movies. And, that was what I was doing and put it all back on. And, so I was sitting at a year ago last week, I was sitting at 163 kilos and thought, this is where the doughiness and the sluggish and all that came into fact. And I'm thinking, well, no, I need to change something. So I dived down a low carb lifestyle. I did no bread, no sugar. Yeah, just again, still learning a lot of things. I'm just at work. What works for me, and I'm just cruising through it. I'm sitting at a 54 kilo weight loss as of last week.
So, and I just want to clarify, that's just, so the thing that you've done to lose 54 kilos is low carb. So
correct.
No surgery, no pills, no injections, just
straight low carb. And my only exercise I was doing, which I started 6 months after low carb, was and I still do it today. I do it every 5 days a week, every morning, is I go to the local pool. I do 20 minutes of walking up and down the pool with a little bit of stretching and then a 20-minute sauna. That's all it took for me. And yes, I plateaued here and there, but 53 kilos in a year is a bloody good achievement. So
you mentioned in all the other weight loss attempts that you still didn't feel that great. How are you feeling now?
I'm on one coffee a day and I still feel like I'm having about 15 of them a day. So I feel incredible. Like energy is just like through the roof. Everyone's noticing my personality has even changed. I've got a massive pep in my step. I'm motivated to exercise. Like I did no exercise. I had no interest in exercising again after my injury. So this is where I thought, how am I going to lose this weight? But yeah, I just proved that you don't really need to exercise that. Like I'm feeling it, like my skin's dropped. I'm on a muscle building program now that I've teamed up with an exercise physiologist. So I'm doing all the steps to try and firm up the skin. And then, if I'm being honest with everyone, because I'm not shy about it, when it comes time that the skin doesn't want to tighten up, I've got no problems in investigating and getting the skin chopped and tucked. Like, it is what it is. I don't have any plans on going backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a different life-changing thing for me.
I love it. I love a couple of things that you've said there. So the first thing was that, you started off doing low carb and you didn't worry about the exercise. And I think sometimes people have this idea they've got to do all the things all at once. Like, it's all got to be done. It's all got to be perfect. It's all got to be done straight away. Whereas you went, right, I'll address this lever first. I'll look at my food, look at my nutrition, reduce my carbohydrates, focus on the protein, do that first. Good. And I mean, scientifically, we know why you felt better. You would have had insulin resistance at a mitochondrial level. This is for any sciencey people that love the science. You have insulin resistance at a mitochondrial level. So every single cell which produces energy for us is operating, instead of on 8 cylinders, it's operating on 4. So you could not feel energized by your simple, the way your body functions. And then you had to consume, like lots of us, 15 coffees to get the caffeine to give us the energy to continue our life.
Correct, yeah.
So reducing your carbs, reduced your insulin, allowed your mitochondria to function better, giving you more energy, huzzah, which then allowed you to go to that next step and go, right, well, now I've got energy, I can exercise.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess the only other thing added to that was a major thing that I left out was I also, because of a lot of podcasts I listen to and a lot of mixed things about the seed oils and all that kind of stuff, I just made the decision to say, bang, drop it out. So I try and stick to nothing on a packet. Yeah, nothing from a packet unless I read the back of absolutely everything now, which has become a good habit, but a bad habit because we spend double the amount of time in the supermarket. So I'm reading everything. So it's not horrible. It's a good problem to have.
Yeah. And I think, when you end up building up your armory of trusted brands that you just know don't have seed oils in them, and you can then at least over time build that sort of library of products that suit you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I love a couple of things that you've done. Within that, you mentioned that you're listening to podcasts and you're reading and you're gathering information. So you're basically learning about what's going on.
Yeah.
How important do you think that is in your journey?
Really important for me because even though a lot of things contradict each other in all those podcasts, like things that I don't eat that they're like in their podcasts, so they're saying it's fine to eat that, where there's proof, there's evidence-based, and it's like, okay, so then I might go and dabble in that. As you said, as you've always told everyone on your podcast, that life's an experiment, and I just go, all right, cool. So I'll just go and chuck a handful of macadamia nuts in my mouth and say, well, let's see what's going on.
And do you know what I love? Again, I'm reflecting back on all the things that I love, but how could you not love a 54-kilo weight loss journey? So a couple of things that you mentioned. One, I love the fact that you're trusting your body and you're trusting your mind. Now, obviously, if your mind had been saying, oh, well, look, you're sick, Tim Tams are the only thing that are going to fix it, you'd probably know that that's a bit of BS. So what you've learnt along the way here is trust, that you can trust what your mind and your body are asking you to do. Whereas before, we lose trust because we stop connecting with it. We don't listen to it. We're not, we're just using food to, because it's there, because it's nice, because it's pizza night, because, you eat because it's 6:00, even if you're not hungry, we'd stop listening to it, and you've tuned right back into yours.
It's the start on Monday excuse. It's, I just have this pizza tonight and we'll just kick it back off tomorrow morning, or we'll kick it back off on Monday. And it's like, now that I've gone through what I've gone through over the last year, that negotiation's completely gone. I'm actually having that negotiation with some of the exercise that I'm doing. And I'm like, I'll give it a crack next week. But then this kind of experience kicks back in and it's like, well, no, if I give it a go next week, I'm reverting back to what I used to do anyway. So come on, off the couch, let's go, let's do something.
Yeah. So you're learning the stories in your head, like you're learning to recognize them and be able to call them out when they're BS.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so interesting, isn't it? One of the things that we often empower all of our people to do is this concept of writing your own playbook, your own rule book, your own guidebook, whatever you want to call it. And what works for one person doesn't necessarily work for another person. So you're right. You do have to experiment. And there are people out there for whom having macadamia nuts is unhelpful because once they start, they can't stop and they eat 200 grams a day and they're wondering why they're not losing weight or why their blood tests aren't improving or why they're still feeling like rubbish. But you're experimenting and I love it.
That's good. Very good. It's fun.
You know, I know that there are people who go, oh, well, you know, maybe Paul's like a single dude with, nobody else to think about except himself. Is that the case?
No. So married with a 2.5-year-old and a 6-week-old. When I first started doing the low carb lifestyle, my wife jumped on board. She's pretty slim and she's always exercised and stuff. And in the first week, she dropped like 6 kilos and she's like, what is this? Like, I'm like, it's just the process. Your body's reacting good to not having processed crap. Like we were having a fair bit of takeaway as well. Life got busy, I run a business, family business. So it's definitely like keeping me on my toes. So, along with that, with family and that, just trying to stick to any kind of routine was a mission and a half. And, the support's there, which is great. Even now, we're still cooking pasta for the little one, the rice, whatever he can eat. We want him to have everything, experience everything. But then at the same time, we've got a pretty meat-based family at the moment. So heaps of chicken, heaps of fish, all the good stuff. He doesn't eat veggies, which I think is normal for a 2-year-old. But, we're still eating all our veggies and all that kind of stuff. And, yeah.
So what do you think made the difference then this time round? Like, so you've been doing it for a year. It now just feels like part of you. What was the difference?
I think I was ready. I think the thing was that all that time before we were going out, we were drinking, we were, catching up with mates. It was a very social lifestyle. I guess what happened now was family. I'm not as social anymore, you could say. Then COVID helped. COVID definitely helped with that. So it wasn't a social lifestyle. I started being more interested in myself. I became a little bit selfish, I call it. Like I was very interested in myself and I feel like I was just ready. Like I think that's what it was. I reflect now and I go, there's no actual anything that really triggered it. I just feel like I was ready. If I really, really deep dive, running up the stairs, I got puffed going up the stairs. Chasing the little one around, like I just get, tired and want to chill on the couch and then make him chill on the couch. So like, if you're deep diving that mental state, you're punishing him for me being unfit. All those kind of thought processes went through the head. But yeah, I guess I was just ready. As I've been saying to everyone, friends and that, it's just game on. We're just game on, like whatever it is. It's just my brain was just, my body, my life, everything was just ready to say, let's just do it.
Yep. And I guess just to clarify for our listeners, like you do go out now, you have got friends and you have navigated social situations.
I've got a life again. I'm definitely not tucked away at home anymore. I've got plenty going on.
Yeah.
Which is good.
So I guess one of the things I love then is the idea is that at the start it can feel a bit scary and a bit daunting and you're worried about how you're going to navigate certain situations.
Yeah.
And then it becomes second nature.
Yes. I had some tools along the way that definitely helped me find it a lot easier to follow a diet this time. Like I said, I think I was ready. So I went out of that comfort zone and like my butcher, I really struggled at the start with protein intake and how much to eat and how much. And I found a local butcher and mate, 10 out of 10. Like he will cryovac all my meat in the weight that I want raw. So, I said to him, I go, for the whole family anyway, I go, I want 250 gram steaks individually packed, and he'll cryovac them, and he'll give me, so they're like little meal packets, but real food.
Yes.
You know, and then I'm like, well, I just made that. That's easy. Now whenever I want a steak or I want a piece of chicken or a fillet, I just pull out one pack and cook a 250 gram steak, and then it's, you know, it's
protein.
It's there. Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. So, but I'm also, which I didn't mention at the start, is I've pretty much always fasted my whole life, not properly with what I'm learning now, but I've always done restricted eating, time eating. I always used to have my first meal at, say, 10 o'clock. Then I would have a lunch at 1 and dinner at, like, say, 5 or 6. So it wasn't a proper fast. Since I started this, I kind of do my lunch at like 1 o'clock, and then my dinner at like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. And then now that I'm learning about fasting, like today I had one massive meal it was like a salad with a whole avocado and 2 fillets of chicken. And then that's me for the day. I won't eat until sometime tomorrow. So now I'm experimenting with that fast. The more and more I learn about fasting, it's like, you know, you can go 2 days without eating. And I tried that, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be rough. You know, all I can drink is water. And then end of day 1, I had this energy, like I was ready to just rock and roll. And I'm like, oh no, like what's going on? And then day 2 came and I was absolutely fine. And my brain was actually probably firing better than it normally does when I was at work. I was definitely on the ball.
Yeah. Do you know what, again, I think what I love is that you've been doing this for a year before you then entered into sort of some longer fasts. And I think
correct. Yeah.
For a lot of people, they, you know, I call it fast and furious. They fast too early and then they get furious. And it's actually not helpful to do it too soon. Like the thing that you're describing is you've got a beautifully open woodshed. You've got access to your stored fat so that you're burning those logs, producing your own ketones, which is giving you the energy, which is why you feel like you're now firing not just on 6 cylinders, but, you know, on 10 or 12 or whatever the most is.
Yeah, that's it.
And I love the idea too that, and this is an interesting little quip that you told in your story, was that when you did, I think you said it was the most successful one, you'd lost the 20 kilos, and you kind of did it with your wedding in mind.
Yeah.
And I find this often that when people have a goal, particularly an event in mind, they get there and then they stop because the event is past. So where's your brain thinking now about, you know, stopping? Is there a stop date?
Nah, there was a goal of weight to 120 kilos. At that point, I blew past 120 kilos pretty quick. As in, like, you know, I didn't really sit at 120 for long. I kind of dropped to from 123. I saw 120 1 week and then 118. I'm like, whoa, what's going on? Like, why am I still, you know, I set a goal. What are we doing? And it wasn't a goal where I would say I'm going to now go and binge eat burgers and pizza and all that kind of stuff. It was just a goal to say, now I'm happy. I'm happier. I shouldn't say I'm happy because I was always happy before. I'm just happier now with more energy. And then I started seeing 113, 114, it plateaued. It definitely plateaued at the end here. But yeah, I saw 113, 114. I'm like, oh, I'm still going. Okay, let's not stop. And it was kind of like, you know, everyone says to me, so are you still losing weight now? I'm like, if my body loses weight, it'll lose weight. I'm not really, I still weigh myself every week as a reference. I'm going to say it like this. I don't care if the weight goes up. I feel and look great, and I know I'm doing the right thing with my food. So if that weight was to go up 2 kilos, I really don't care. It is what it is. I'm just really now, but I'm losing weight still. I'm losing a kilo, still losing sometimes a kilo a week. And I thought my body was happy at 110. I'm sitting at 107 now, and it's just, yeah.
You know what it is? It's because you're tweaking, adjusting, experimenting, and seeing how you feel as the first yardstick. So you feel better and weight loss is coming along for the ride.
Yeah. I went on a website that you put in your weight, your goal weight and all that kind of stuff. And at the time I'm like, well, I really want to get to 150 kilos. I thought that was realistic. So it said to eat, and even following low carb and all that kind of stuff, it says to eat your body weight in grams or your goal weight in grams. I'm still eating to 140, 150 kilos today, and I'm still losing weight. Like, it's not like I'm cutting my protein down. I don't know why that's done. I've only just had recent blood tests to see where everything's at, but which I haven't got the results for yet. But, I know that if I really had to, and I am overdoing it, I can drop my protein down because I'm eating to double my body weight. Not double my body weight, but I'm eating to a much heavier person that I was to eating to 110 kilos, if you know what I mean.
Yep. Yeah. So I think, we have the recommendation of eating a gram of protein per kilo of body weight, roughly, as a minimum most days. So there are some days, so if you do a 2-day fast, obviously you're not getting any protein in those days. And there are some days where you may not get the full whack of protein. But honestly, it's pretty hard to overeat protein because it makes you full. And the thermogenic effect of protein means that even if you were to eat more than perhaps your body needs, your body burns it off in heat. So it's like, yay. I mean, how great's that? The other thing that happens is when you overeat protein or overeat fat and protein, you're not hungry for ages. Whereas if you consumed the same calories, but they were in processed carbs, you'd actually be hungry again soon.
Yeah.
So, whilst it can be a little unpleasant at the time because your gut's going, oh, it's actually not that harmful as long as you're doing what you're doing, which is listening to your body, and it'll tell you next time, I'm not ready to eat yet. I'm not ready to eat yet. Yeah, I could possibly eat an egg. Yeah, no, now I'm hungry. Yeah,
exactly.
Great. So, Paul, just again for our listeners, how old are you roughly?
33.
33. Okay, so future Paul's life has changed. Like, I know that you were a happy-go-lucky bloke.
Yep.
And probably at 33, you hadn't experienced too many health implications yet.
Yeah, yet is the key word. Yep. Yeah.
63-year-old Paul, he's now looking back, and what's he saying?
Why didn't you do it earlier? Is exactly what he's saying. He's saying, why didn't you just find out? And I guess, but back then, and when I say back then, prior to this, the information wasn't right in front of you. I love the controversy behind it all, because it's like, all right, you listen to this person, listen to that person, listen to this person. You're like, all right, cool. I'm going to try that. Why not? What have I got to lose? And it's like, oh no, I didn't feel that great with that. And then you listen to the next person, don't eat these. Like, okay, the vegetables I'm not eating are probably the ones that are most commonly known for weight gain. So when you're trying to lose weight, you shouldn't be eating them. But, other people say, multiple things. You shouldn't eat this, you should eat that. And I'm thinking, but why? And then you start questioning, and it's like, well, no, hang on, I'm going to eat it and I'm going to see what it does to me. And then if it reacts with me badly, then I know, all right, cool, I shouldn't have eaten that. And then, we move on to the next thing. But yeah, and back to what you said, 63-year-old Paul is definitely going to be saying, why didn't you start this thing earlier?
But you know what? I'd love 63-year-old Paul to say, thank God you did it now.
Oh, 100%. He'd be saying that too. Yeah. He'd definitely be saying that too. I'm feeling that now, people, everyone who knows me, everyone who I see, what's your secret? I've become like an unofficial health coach. I'm just like, this is what I did. Definitely do your own research. I don't say go and do this because it might not, I don't want to make anyone sick. I'm not a professional. I'm a cabinet maker. I build kitchens for a living. I don't really, I'm not a dietitian or a health professional, but it's worked for me, and people can see that. They're like, what's your secret? Are you doing Ozempic? Are you doing? And I'm like, no, I'm not. Did you have the lap band surgery? Well, I nearly got there, but no, I didn't. And they're like, are you on a tablet? Are you on this? No, just, you could call it cold turkey. I just did it. I followed some simple rules and some simple guidelines and ate really good, clean food. And here I am today, 54 kilos lighter.
I know. Like, that's a whole person. It's a whole person lighter, 54 kilos.
Yeah.
So, no, it is amazing. I think future you is very, very happy that current you made the decision to change your life, to go low carb, to address, and, as we've mentioned, it is the mindset that is integral in that. The idea is that you have, sought some guidance, but you're experimenting and you're essentially writing your own playbook.
That's it. Yeah.
And that's what we encourage everyone to do. We really want people to know that there's no one way to skin a cat, which is, sorry for any non-Australians, it's a really Australian saying. It's actually a bit ugly when you think about it. But there is no perfect way. There is no only way. Any of these gurus say you must do it my way, I always just think bullshit. You don't need to do it their way. It's about maybe trying a few things. And, and again, even within our cohort, obviously we've just had a whole bunch of people go through the 12-week Mind Body Rebalance, and we say to them, you need to work out what is right for you, your family. Here's a set of guidelines to kind of go by, but tweak them. Yeah,
exactly. And it worked, yeah.
Yeah, and it's continuing to work. And the thing that I love is, as I said, that your mindset has really always been about how do you feel? You felt sluggish, you felt doughy, you had no energy, you were using, 15 coffees a day to get you through. And while you knew probably deep down that this wasn't ideal, it was really then that going, okay, I'm going to change what I'm doing and I'm going to see how I feel. And that was first and foremost. You felt better.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's pretty much the first thing that changed. Energy straight away. Probably second week in, energy straight away. I guess even though low carb is not keto, I was waiting for that keto flu that everyone was talking about. That never came. I don't know, everything just changed for me pretty much week 2, week 3 of giving this a crack. Yeah. It's been awesome. Heaps of obstacles, but it's been awesome,
Yeah, and it's wonderful. And I love it. I love it that you've become an evangelist. We all do that. It is, once you feel so much better, you want all your loved ones to feel better too. And hopefully they will. And, watching your transformation has just been a joy. And I'm so proud of what you've done.
Yeah, thank you. It's been really good. Yeah, it's definitely, again, life-changing. It is really life-changing. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much, lovely listeners. If you are interested in the 12-week Mind Body Rebalance and perhaps having your own life-changing journey, the doors are opening very soon. You can head to our website, all the W's, rlmedicine.com/12WMBR, and sign up, and we will see you there. Wonderful. All right, darlings, bye now. So, my lovely listeners, that ends this episode of Real Health and Weight Loss. I'm Dr. Lucy Burns.
And I'm Dr. Mary Barson. We're from Real Life Medicine. To contact us, please visit rlmedicine.com.
And until next time, thanks for listening. The information shared on the Real Health and Weight Loss podcast, including show notes and links, provides general information only. It is not a substitute, nor is it intended to provide individualized medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment, nor can it be construed as such. Please consult your doctor for any medical concerns.